All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. If you're listening to this day after the Strickland Podcast Network, Knicks win 102-98 over the Orlando Magic, bringing them to 30 wins on the season, as well as bringing them to a tie for sixth place in the Eastern Conference. If you look back to last year, the Knicks had finished the season with 37 wins, so they are well on track to outpace that. So shout out to the team for just winning, and can't complain with winning. Well, I mean you can if you're us, but um, yeah, Knicks win. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Um, really took control of things down the stretch. In terms of not only getting his shot, but also setting up guys like Jericho Sims, who I thought had a really good game tonight. Um, yeah. So, Jalen Brunson, 25 points, 5 assists, 9 of 13 from the field, 3 of 6 from three. Um, and,
He nice. He
yeah.
nice. He been nice. We love Jalen Brunson over here at the Strickland. Uh, Great game from him. Great decision making down the stretch. I'm glad the ball was in his hands and his hands only. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau for making the adjustment that I think a lot of us knew needed to happen. There wasn't any Julius Randle ISOs. It was him play finishing. It was Jalen Brunson being the point guard down the stretch. And sorry, um, yeah, it was either a Jalen Brunson shot, a Jalen Brunson kick out, or a Jalen Brunson dish. So you saw Jalen Brunson down the stretch with a couple of clutch buckets, and then he had that dish off to Jericho Sims to put us up three. And once they were up three, then you know that was the game right there. And took a couple of ice outs from the free throw line, but otherwise, Jalen Brunson won us the game down the stretch, and that's why we pay him the big bucks.
Yep. That is indeed why we pay him the big bucks. He should be an all-star. There is a chance that he could be an all-star replacement. I doubt it, though. They'll probably pick a front court player to replace KD. Maybe, maybe not. We can always hold out hope. As KD will be missing the all-star game. Um,
I
so
need
hopefully,
Drew Holiday got to take one for the team.
Jalen Brunson can replace him. He's well deserving of it. Um, I don't know what more he has to prove to anyone else to show that he's an all-star, but definitely is one, even if he isn't one by name. So I thought he provided good minutes today. Great minutes today. Um, Julius Randle, 22, 14, 6, really key rebounds down the stretch, especially that last one. That was probably the fastest I've ever seen him move for a rebound
That
ever.
man had Dallas in his mind the entire time at the line. Like that game still gives me PTSD, so I think it gave him PTSD in that rebound.
And
I
I'm
don't know
glad
why.
I'm glad Thibs had like all the bigs on the court basically at that time to make
Yeah,
sure that they got the rebound instead of just like
Deuce and
leaving out
Grimes,
like
Clay Grimes.
Deuce and Grimes to like fend for themselves against the trees of of the Orlando Magic. Um,
Which is wild because like they had at one point they had like Paolo Banchero who's 6'10", Franz who's 6'10", they had Bol, and then they had Jonathan Isaac. So like three 6'10" dudes and another 7'2" dude. And Julius Randle is the smallest player in that kind of like trees. He's only 6'9", wild. But like he was able to get that rebound and it wasn't even close either. As soon as it came off the rim, he was there, he jumped for it, he got it. And that's what you like to see. You like to see your bigs getting out there, getting those rebounds, battling the paint over those trees.
yeah. Um, to say though, I mean, the way this team started this game, they're lucky they were playing the Orlando Magic. I mean, I give credit to Orlando Magic because they've been a team that's been playing well over the last couple of months. But they're still a team that you can take advantage of them. Um, and Knicks were fortunate because they started off this game really pathetic, bring up the ball so slowly, letting Markel Fultz really bother us with ball pressure. Um, it was just a really rough start. And when you face off against a team like Orlando, you can do that. But like next game we have versus the 76ers, I mean, hey, we were fortunate to come back
Yeah,
against them once. You don't want to test fate twice. So you don't want to test fate twice. Going down early against a much better team. So, shout out to the Knicks for, being able to adjust. Definitely playing with much more pace in that second half, especially the latter half of the third quarter heading into the fourth. Um, it definitely made the difference in terms of, just getting into sets faster and, getting the ball moving. I thought that was key as well.
yeah. I did like the place that they played with. After the first quarter, I felt like they were able to really fight and claw back, and I felt like the ball was zipping around a ton. Um, it's actually pretty indicative in the assists. Like they had 21 assists and 37 made shots, which is a pretty decent ratio. So yeah, I feel like the ball movement was better. I feel like their processing as a team was better. Um, and ultimately speaking, like they were able to capitalize on a lot of their opportunities. They also hit 15 threes tonight, which is one of their better shooting games in 3 point land. Um, at least four Knicks hit three threes tonight. So Quickly had four, Brunson had three, Julius had four, RJ had three. So it was a really decent shooting night for them, and they only shot 35%, but it's still pretty decent for their standards. And yeah, good game all around for shooting. Good game around for the processing, the passing, especially after the second quarter.
Yeah. Um, quickly, quickly, another great game off the bench. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 7 to 15 from the field. 4 of 9 from three. Love that he's taking so many threes and hit 45% of them. Um, I will take that any day. Um, was definitely a huge catalyst for us, being able to keep up with the Orlando Magic. 'Cause I felt like a lot of tonight was a lot of back and forth basketball, and there were times where we would miss a shot. Um, and shout out to like our offensive rebounding in certain instances where it gave us like second and third chances, and IQ was able to capitalize on a couple of those opportunities. So
I'm thinking of like one play in particular where like Sims gets the offensive rebound, they put it up three, they miss. Randall gets the offensive rebound, Ike puts it up for three, he misses, and then I think Randall gets another offensive rebound, and then IQ hits a three, and it's like that's what you want to see. You want to see the team like fight for those possessions. You want to see the team, battle and scrap and make it work, and they were able to make it work tonight, which is really good to see.
yeah, and um, the six man of the year campaign continues.
I don't want to hear nothing about no Benedict Mathurin. I don't want to hear about no Russell Westbrook. If you say Russell Westbrook six man of the year, you're either a Russ stan or you don't know basketball. Right now, the six man of the year is Manuel Quickly. It should not be close, but this is unfortunately a PPG award, and someone like you can argue Norm Powell with me, and I'd be like, okay, but like it I think Quickly should at least be top three in that conversation.
He has a very, very convincing case as of late, with the way that he's been scoring and just being able to do everything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Jericho Sims, I thought he had a great game today. 8 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, and he provided some really key baskets in that fourth quarter, including that offensive rebound and then the putback dunk,
Yeah.
which I think helped us take the lead at one point.
Yeah.
I want to say.
And he fought for that too. He had two offensive rebounds in that possession because Obi missed it. I think no, Obi got the first one and Jericho got the second one. But point stands, like he was able to fight for it. He really made it work. And yeah, man, like you love to see Jericho Sims have games like that. I think he's had a couple of really good games. I think there was three. I think the game against the Clippers he played pretty well. I think the game against the Sixers he played especially well. especially when he's able to switch on the perimeter in the second half on Joel. And I feel like he's played really well this game. So you'd like to see him getting that confidence. There's only a couple games left until the All Star break, and you assume Mitch will be back by then. But 8, 9, 2 steals, couple of assists, 5 offensive rebounds from your third string center is a good day at the office for Jericho Sims. And the only shot he missed tonight was a heave from half court that almost went in. So good day for Jericho.
Yeah. Let's see what else in the box score we talk about. All right, let's get to RJ Barrett. Um, Rough first half. Um, Much better second half in terms of scoring. Defensively, still an issue. Um, I don't know. I mean, they said I think they said that he heard what Clyde said. Hopefully that lights a fire under him. Maybe he needs the All-Star break to recalibrate his brain on that end. I don't know what it is, but defensively something does have to change with him.
Are we gonna
Um
blend the bubble guts tonight?
I'm not. I'm tired of like
I mean, it.
blaming or making excuses or anything like that. But um
I mean, it's sick. It's Mercury in retrograde. It's the finger.
I mean he's always sick. It's like at what point do
Oh,
you just like get a new nutritionist or a doctor or
some Pedialyte.
I don't know. But I will say I did like that he was able to turn things around in that second half, especially in the fourth quarter. I think he scored about like 8 or 10 points in that quarter.
Yeah,
Definitely was part of the effort of helping us take and sustain the lead. And I thought him playing over Grimes was fine because I didn't think Grimes really had the most spectacular of games, which required him to close over RJ. And maybe Thibs just thought the size of RJ was better versus the Magic because the Magic are one of the more larger teams in the league. With the amount of length that they play, with Bobo, Isaac, Paolo, Franz. I mean, go down the line of guys that are like at least 6'5" and up, I want to say, on that team. So,
yeah.
you
They
know,
they got a couple of big boys.
yeah, they are. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping that he can turn it around even further versus the Sixers. It's gonna be a very interesting matchup. He didn't play the last game versus the Sixers, so we'll see who's he guarding, as well as what's like the matchup for him. Um, but yeah,
I yeah. I just you cannot keep punting first halves with RJ Barrett. Um, especially when the idea is like this big three, this big core, and then it's like you punt the minutes that he's starting with. He comes out the game, you're playing catch up, and then you put him back in to start the second quarter, and then the lineup is giving it all back because you're making him option number one with the bench unit, and it's like you can't do that. I have been a long proponent of I think the first sub should be Julius, and I feel like Obi Toppin should be able to run with the starters for a bit of the first quarter, but the problem is Julius is so good in the first quarter that you can't really take him out. And again tonight, I think he had a decent first quarter. Uh, Actually no, only 3 points. So my bad. He had a good second quarter. That's why I'm mistaken. But yeah, so it's a matter of like they can't have Julius sitting down in the first quarter because realistically they need his offense. And I would I don't know. It's I don't want to see it run the bench unit. Um, I think it should be Brunson and or Julius. I think you could sub an IQ for Brunson. I feel like you'd be okay with that. But ultimately, like then he needs to perform better. He needs to be able to take those leaps and strides. And if he's not doing that, then there are going to be some hard conversations to have. So
yeah. Um,
also, why the hell does Cam Thomas have 40 again?
are you serious?
Yeah, he has 40 again.
What?
Uh huh.
Three straight 40-point games is insane.
Son, I don't, bro. They if they, oh my god, this is actually ridiculous. Like his PPG got to go up through the roof after this game. Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah, Son has been hooping.
Anyways, back to some Knicks basketball. We do not have anyone dropping three straight 40 balls, but we do have 30 wins, and we are slowly creeping up in the Eastern Conference standings. So I will take that.
After this game, we're going to be, I think, 3 back or maybe 2.5 back of 5th. And we play the Nets before the All-Star break.
Schedule
And you're
loss.
hoping that without Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons being a shell of himself, that this team can finally,
Nope.
finally do it.
It's not
But if
happening.
Cam Thomas is going to play like he's an all-star, then god damn it, he's gonna whip our ass.
It's not happening. We're not
Yeah.
beating the Nets. Like there's just like a curse over,
Yeah. Let me not even get my hopes up. Let me not even get my hopes up. We about to get
I just
pounded.
I'm letting folks know now. Don't get their hopes up. Like just expect for him to I mean just expect for the Knicks to not beat the Nets. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, we have our pants at our ankles, and that's okay.
Like they're gonna light us up from three as usual. That's what they love to do. But yeah, let me get back to the Knicks box score real quick. Pull up who else? Not Sims. Hartenstein didn't have that good of a game. He was in foul trouble. Obi, 6 rebounds. I think he had like I want to say 2 offensive rebounds. I want to say.
No,
Um,
uh, no, did they fucking choke this game? No, okay, never mind. Okay. Whew. I thought the fucking Suns lost their damn mind. Hire Isaiah Thomas, all of a sudden you forget how to play basketball.
they
Been
didn't
there,
hire
done
Isaiah
that.
Thomas.
They did, son.
No, they didn't. Chris Haynes had to put out a tweet saying that he got it wrong.
Oh,
That guy's
okay.
only good for Dame news. That's it.
All right, never mind.
That guy stinks at his job unless it's Damian Lillard news. Um, but yeah, Deuce with donuts across the board. Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty for Deuce McBride tonight.
No, it was not. Um, all right.
But he
I
gave good
think
energy, so can't really complain.
I honestly forgot he even played. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie.
I think he only played like he only played 8 minutes. Like they needed
Yeah,
every minute of Brunson tonight, so I can't even get mad at him.
yeah, I get it. Um,
Oh, Aiton got a
all
rebound.
right.
Okay, finally, shit.
So I think we're gonna get to some comments now because we talked about how ugly this win was. I don't think we have to talk about that much. And where's my? Here we go. All right. Let's pull up the ad read so that way we can get rolling here. Um, it's probably about the Super Bowl. Oh no, it's about NBA. Okay. NBA fans, it's time to bring hoops action to the palm of your hands with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no sweat same game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back. Download the app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, with code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right. Let's get into some comments. Shout out to everyone that's been leaving comments. Definitely continue to leave comments as it will comments and questions as it will guide us as we continue to um dis- discuss. My brain is running on empty right now, so forgive me. One of those days at work.
Yep, felt it.
So Chris Bernhard gets us started. Why is it that whenever the Knicks face a team that is full of lanky dudes, they just can't get anything going? Um, yeah, Knicks have always struggled against length. That's why, like, whenever we play the Orlando Magic, I'm always like, not, I guess worried, you can say, but yeah, it's just always a little bit of a concern. Um, I don't know what it is because we do have. I mean, I think it's because of a lot of our guys rely on getting to the rim,
Yeah,
and that length bothers those guys
we rely
when
a
they.
lot on like getting to the rim and like jump passing and like
Yes,
bother with those things.
yes, to a huge degree, especially guys like RJ and JB. They rely on the drives and the kickouts and those jump passes. So even someone like IQ does jump passes a bunch too. So it's length is always going to bother us just because of the way our players are wired and how they operate.
Yeah, so nothing you could do about it except for like take perimeter shots. I think you see the Knicks take more perimeter shots when like they are faced with length, and tonight it worked out. So good to see it.
Yeah.
I think they adjusted really well after the second quarter.
Okay. Chris Bernhardt also said these coaches really put in a fake pass happy player from Indiana over JB. We giving flyover states love now.
No, it's dude. I look. Do I understand Tyrese Halliburton's a good player? Absolutely. The fact
Do
that
we
he
have to
made the
acknowledge it? No.
no, and the fact that he made it over Jalen Brunson is ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. Like Jalen Brunson is the better player. That should not be an argument. Like Jalen Brunson is the better player, and it's because the Knicks you can't have two All Stars if you're a quote unquote mediocre team, and the Knicks were seventh at the time. So like maybe the Knicks are fourth, they get two, but like he should have made it.
Yeah. I still can't get over this 40 ball business. This is insane.
Cam Thomas becomes youngest player ever to score 40 plus points 3 games in a row. He might go for 50 against the Knicks.
You know it's happening.
I know it's happening. That's the worst part because he gave us that work last year when we had that big ass lead against the Knicks, against the Nets.
That's
With KD
that
and Kyrie playing,
that
don't
was the
worry, I
most
know.
depressing post game show of
Oh,
last season.
oh no, they were worse. They were definitely worse.
No, I think that's literally the one where I literally just didn't have anything to say straight off the bat.
Oh man, I gotta think about it now.
But we have grown past those days, thankfully.
I don't know. It got really depressing in like the summertime. Not the summer. It got really depressing in like December. It was bad for a minute. Oh, it was bad.
Ace Bouchard says Magic are an intriguing team, specifically with their size and defense, but I don't know about that offense though. Yeah, the offense still needs some help. I mean, a lot of their players are still finding their way, but they do also still have like a lot of solidified pieces that like know their role. Um, like Fultz is like the guy that sets up everybody else on their team. Um, Wendell Carter Jr. is pretty solidified in his role of what he does, what he brings to the team, as a starter night in night out, um, as well as who else? Who else? Who else? Who else am I saying? Are we thinking of? Bankero and Franz. They've solidified themselves as like the two, I guess, like you want to say cornerstones of this team so far. Two 6'10" wings or wing and Bankero. I guess you could qualify him as a big sort of, but
He's a big boy.
yeah. So the Magic they have some work to do. I mean, they've been pretty good as of late, but they still have a ways to go. But I mean, they definitely gave us a fight tonight, so respect to them for that.
Yep. Just
One
sometimes
of
you
the
gotta see the
rare teams in the league I don't have any beef with.
who else you got beef with? Like as Knicks fans, like how many teams we really got beef with? Like
Well,
we
me
got no
personally,
we got no beef with like the Hornets. I mean, there's no West team we have any beef with besides like the Lakers. Maybe Dallas if you want to throw them in there, but like I don't know.
it's me personally.
You just be hating on teams for no reason.
I have reasons. I
Also,
have,
what the so Cam Thomas had no points in the first 10 and a half minutes of the fourth quarter, and then he scored 14 points in a minute and a half.
what? That doesn't even make sense.
Bro, they gotta test this piss.
You know that drug test is coming.
I know it is because ain't no way he doing this off of God given ability. He got the LeBron plug.
Something. All right, let's get to the next comment. Severinks. He said we should have lost that game. That's how badly we played. It's just the Magic have no idea what they're doing yet. He said the Magic are actually 17-12 in their last 29 games before tonight, so they're not as bad as people are making them out to be. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've always acknowledged the Magic to be one of those teams that's been playing pretty well as of late. I mean, they beat Boston 3 times. They
Mm-hmm.
beat the Sixers coming back from down 20, just like we did,
They beat the
and they beat the
Warriors twice.
Warriors. So they are a team that is not to be messed around with. So yeah,
That
I
was
definitely was not underestimating them heading into this matchup.
that was a trap game to like the trap game meanest degree, and they were able to pull it out, which is good.
Yeah, and that's a credit to them. I mean, Markel Fultz really, was shaking things up in that fourth quarter. Definitely had me a little bit nervous, thinking that this either might go to overtime or something else. But thankfully, we were able to pull it out. We showed some resilience, so let's credit to the Knicks for doing that. Hopefully, they can do that against better teams, because that's what really makes or breaks you in the playoffs, I think. And
I'll give them props though. Like they've been playing a lot more cohesive basketball in the fourth quarter. Aside from like that really dumb ass Batum three, I've liked the team's last four quarters.
fair.
Like I think they played well against the Heat. It looked like varsity basketball at times, but like I think ultimately speaking, the sum of that game was pretty solid. I think they played really well against the Sixers in the fourth quarter, and really well against the Magic. And I think that, again, this is the probably the fourth. This is the first fourth quarter in like a month and a half, where like all things considered.
Fair. Um, at least we didn't have like a big lead to blow today.
Yeah,
That's one thing that changed on today's script. I guess Adam Silver gave us a break with that. We'll see what happens in the Sixers game.
down 30, fake comeback.
Vivek says, from blowing big leads to coming back from deficits 3 straight games, if not more, in the recent stretch. I love to see this. Yeah, I mean, it's showing the team has some, they've matured a little bit. as they were the ones being come back came back from on. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore.
They were the
They,
team that you
they
would
were the
come back
team that
on.
was giving up, these huge deficits before. So they're learning something from that. Watching teams come back from huge deficits versus them, they were able to, I guess, internalize some of that and have been able to utilize it when playing these teams. So hopefully they can continue to do that if they fall behind in games. I don't hope that they keep falling behind in games, but I hope that they're able to continue to show this resilience and are able to close games if it comes to it.
And ultimately, like they've also won 2 games in a row where they were retreating at the third quarter after not winning any of those games beforehand. So they look like they're turning a corner. Hopefully, it lasts.
Yeah, and with the trade deadline coming up, um, and the team potentially having some players moved around, or rotation gets expanded and shifted around and whatnot. You know, they're gonna have to. It's gonna be interesting to see how that shakes things up, as well as the whole resilience thing too. My brain
I
is.
I I would I the trade deadline thing. I guess we could talk a little bit about the trade deadline. I don't know if they do anything because it kind of seems like this. Well, from what we're hearing, they're kind of just like gonna chill. Which
Has been their mo the last
yeah,
couple of years.
like if they make a trade, it's usually an early trade, and we haven't really seen them do anything day of the deadline. I think the only move they made was like when they traded Austin Rivers and Ignas Brazdeikis for like a second round pick or whatever, and they moved some money around. But like when they make their trades, they usually don't wait. Um, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're just like, well, we're 30 and 26. Um, we got 2 All-Star caliber players, 2 All-Stars really, and like ultimately we feel like we can beat any team in the league. Why not just see where the road takes us? Especially if the Nets look like they might get a little bit more risky. They traded Kyrie, and who knows what might happen with Durant. So
Yeah, I mean, they're probably looking at the surgence, because I don't want to say resurgence, because that would imply that there was something to rise back up to with Deuce and Hartenstein. But the surgence of Deuce and Hartenstein may have the front office being like, hey, maybe we just ride things out with them and see if are able to continue being consistent at what they've been consistent at. Hopefully Hartenstein's able to continue with his rim protection, as well as his rebounding. You're hoping Deuce continues to shoot with confidence and play with like no hesitancy. So they may be looking at these things, hopes and seeing, and hopefully they're probably hoping that there's something that can be replicated continuously. But I am someone that even if you do believe in those guys to continue what they're doing, I still would rather them trade for like even like a Gary Trent for like a couple of seconds, something like that, just to have like that extra bench score that can be reliable.
yeah, I think they need that more than anything. So I guess from what we heard today, the Knicks aren't interested, or not, they're not interested. It's a matter of they're not in play for OG Anunoby. Um, we've also heard that Milwaukee has expressed interest in Derrick Rose. So it's looking like they might get a move done, and if they do get the move done, it might be a situation where they're maybe trading out some Cam, and they're getting back a couple seconds or something. And this front office loves their second round picks.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it might be pretty notable. I don't know if they get a rotation player though. I don't know if they do that. It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like so used to Knicks standing pat at the trade deadline that I'm like, if they do make a move, like that would it wouldn't shock me, but it would be like a pleasant little surprise, you know. Oh, the Knicks they made a move on trade deadline day, but if they don't, then I guess we're gonna keep rolling out with Deuce and Hartenstein and IQ and Obi, and
which
you're
isn't the
just
worst
hoping for
thing.
the best. It's not the worst thing ever either. It's just like if this team really does want to take themselves like a little bit more seriously, then they do need to, upgrade the bench scoring. Cause like Fournier ain't gonna have, five threes off the bench every game. Like that's not gonna happen. Like Deuce isn't gonna shoot like this every game. So, Knicks just gotta see what they think is gonna be reliable for them and stick to it.
Yeah, I would definitely like to get one guy just to like come in and stabilize the bench unit. And they can't get Burks this year because of the CBA. So I don't know where they're gonna get that from, but I would like to see it ultimately.
Yeah. All right. Chris Bernhard. He says someone somehow convinced IQ to take a 575 so we can have the best secret in the league along with the best contract in the league.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he took. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if he took something like 472. I I don't think Quickly is gonna have this huge market that a lot of people think he's gonna have because
Well, first of
realistically,
all, teams won't be able to pay anybody because like doesn't nobody have any cap space?
yeah, nobody has cap space. I mean, there's the idea of a sign and trade, but like you'd have to trade assets to acquire Emmanuel Quickly, and you'd have to sign him to a number that the Knicks don't feel comfortable signing him to. So, are you willing to give Emmanuel Quickly 4 years, $100 million? Because that's what you're looking at. Because I don't think the Knicks are going to do anything less. Like maybe 490, but like I can't see that because the market is like so wild on him that like I think he signs for something like what Colin Sexton signed for. So Colin Sexton signed for 472. I think he gets something around that. I was thinking 460 to begin the year, but like the Mitch deal, but like the fact that he's playing 30 minutes regularly and he's like a plus minus demon that like I think there's definitely some stock in there. But ultimately, like unless you feel comfortable trading on picks for Emmanuel quickly, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't see much teams doing it as much as I love Emmanuel quickly. I just don't see other teams really going that far.
I think also it's a matter of like trading picks for Emmanuel quickly, and then like, do the Knicks even want your stuff? So like, yeah, it's similar to the Brunson situation that happened this offseason, in fact. So like, you have to get to a number where you don't feel comfortable re-signing them, and you have to be able to shed salary or have salary space open. I just don't see that happening. I think there are a lot of guards out here in the league that like have more cachet than Emmanuel quickly is. And if he's not starting and he's just coming off the bench, then I think he sticks with the Knicks anyway because like he's gonna close a lot of games for the Knicks.
For
And
sure.
ultimately speaking, he's playing 30 minutes a night. So I think it'll be fine in terms of like value.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on like how teams value him as well as how much the Knicks really value him. I mean, there was a report like last month or so about like um what was it?
I think that
Charlotte and like not Charlotte, but Phoenix. Phoenix was looking at guys like Fred Van Vliet quickly and Terry Rozier as like Chris Paul like replacements because like I guess I mean even now we're hearing that they're shopping Chris Paul, so like they're obviously looking to eventually move on from him. And quickly was one of those names that was brought up, so teams like that you got to look out for Emmanuel quickly. But yeah,
I get it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like just nothing happened on that front. Um, I think he'll sign this offseason though, so I'm not really worried about it.
Severinks. Let's talk about the fact that RJ is a stone awful defender until he gets that fixed for good. We're kind of screwed because he's not an efficient enough scorer to make up for it.
Yep, that's kind of it. Uh, he isn't good defensively. He isn't good offensively, and ultimately speaking, that's a that's a troubling situation, especially for the guy you invested 107 million in.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
just like
let me get this out the way. Anybody who thinks RJ Barrett should play the two does not watch RJ Barrett play defense. The dude's biggest problem is that he's slow and he can't navigate screens. Why the hell would you make him play against people who are quicker than him and can navigate and use screens to get their to get shots off? Like RJ Barrett is a 3, and he's closer to being a 3-4 than a 2-3. The guy moves like he's in lumbar. Like
yeah, it goes back to a lot of people were saying, I guess, or at least saying he should do earlier this year was like he's gonna cut down on that weight that he gained because if he's not gonna use it properly, then like what's the point if it's just gonna slow him down? Um, yeah, I mean defensively, times out there he looked lost. I mean, there's a clip that's going around all over Nick's Twitter that like he absolutely like just like loses Franz on like a simple move, and Franz is able to get I think like free throws out of it or a goaltend out of it. I forgot what it was.
I think it was free throws.
Okay, but yeah, I mean he's just got to be better. I don't know, like maybe I hope Clyde's words light a fire under him for these next couple of days. Um, maybe he needs the All-Star break to recalibrate his mind. Um, I'm
He's
just hoping
nasty.
that that's the case. But yeah.
I just something's got to give. I just hope that he's able to fix it, but I'm not confident.
Um R also says RJ turned around, but he's still holding his team back with how many minutes of inefficient play we have to deal with. Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. The inefficient play. It's something that's been I mean, whether he's sick or he's not, there's still some level of inefficient play that's still frustrating. I don't know what else to say about it. My brain is just like totally fried today, and I'm just happy the Knicks won.
Yeah, you're just
Like,
like, I hope he turns it around. That's kind of it. Like,
yeah.
there's not much more to be said.
Um, Chris Bernhardt says we'll be 2.5 back if the Nets lose tonight, which they did. So
Yes,
there's that.
sir.
New name in the chat, Nafimul Huda. I am so sorry if I butchered that. I deeply apologize. What is RJ's trade value, assuming we try to move on from him during the offseason when the extension kicks in? I feel like the rest of the league correctly views RJ as a terrible defender plus inefficient scorer whose ceiling is Wiggins light if everything works out.
I mean, I think he's young enough, and like, there's enough talent there to like some team. Maybe he could see it with neutral
Some
value.
team would be intrigued by the, prospects of a potential two-way wing.
Yeah, like
You just got to be buying into the two-way part.
yeah, and I think like I mean, I don't think you're at the point where like you're trading for worst contract with RJ Barrett, but I don't know if he's like, oh, this guy's gonna be like a really good piece you get back in a star trade. I think he might just be like, okay, his salary. Um, I do think you have to like temper. I think you have to like adjust your expectations. I feel like the plan was our Randall Brunson are like the guys you essentially built build the franchise around, but like those are your primary guys. You ideally use RJ Barrett to like get the third guy, And I still think that's the case, but like RJ Barrett's not going to be like the prize at the end of the tunnel. He's just going to be a guy you use to make the salary work, which means that I think his trade value is a lot lower than it was going into the season.
Hmm.
So if he's able to rebound, then this is a moot point. If he gets like 55 true shooting, then like it's better. But like, it's rough, man. It's rough.
Very rough. Pause. Um,
Yo,
Jordan Bub.
whoa.
Jordan Bub says, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Definitely do that. We are on our way to 1K subs. All that you do helps us with the YouTube algorithm. I have no idea how the YouTube algorithm works, but I do know that leaving a like and subscribing will help us out a ton. Um, Larry Israel asks Tyrese, how difficult is it to be afflicted with
Omniscience. Oh god.
omniscience? There we
Yeah,
go.
it's basically being right all the damn time. I mean, like, it just. I don't want to be right about this shit. I don't want to be right. Like, it's hard being right. No, I'll tell you that much. Like, everything about this offseason I was right about. So, hey, whatever. Sometimes you gotta take a little victory lap, which I did. And sometimes you gotta take another one, which I will. Hey, I told you JB was good, and Schwinn yelled at me in the podcast saying, "Why would you think Jalen Brunson gonna make an All-Star team?" I was right. I said Julius Randle could be good this year. I was right. I said Cam Reddish is a scammer. I was right. I said Obi Toppin's not moving folks like that. I was
Cam
right.
Reddish. I mean, I've seen a ton of reports today about Cam Reddish in terms of um
I'm tired of the being reports. I need some damn second round picks, bro. I need my damn hit.
how much credit is there to how much credit do you think there is to the Chetty Osman thing?
I need it like I need air. I don't know if the Cavaliers make a move. I mean, that would be the ideal is getting Shetty. Because Shetty would literally be our second best bench player. So if we get Shetty and a pick, like I mean, if he needs to keep making some noise, then keep making some noise because I would love him on this team. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Jeff Green in the second.
Mm.
Like whatever we get back, I don't expect them to play. Like it's probably gonna be like Matt Mooney in a second, or like
Matt who?
sorry Dylan Windler in a second, like from the Cavs. That would probably like that would make salaries match. Um, or like Jeff Green or something like that. So I think whoever they get is not going to be in the rotation, and whatever return they can use from that, they might use it to upgrade. But I wouldn't be surprised if like they're still running 9 past the trade deadline.
Man, I'm hoping they go back to 10 because of the trade deadline. Like after the trade deadline, they acquire someone, using out of rotation players or, out of rotation salary, as well as my brain just went blank, as well as picks, like second round picks or whatever, to acquire like, a 10th man that we can use to, dispel some wing minutes. That would help a ton, I think.
Trevor Keel season. I mean, I would say that with a straight. I mean, I even joke about saying that.
Larry Israel says Grimes got a pull. He drove into non-closeouts like three
So
times tonight.
don't even start a talk.
Oh man, yeah. This is exactly why I wasn't like too pissed at RJ playing over him in the fourth, because at least like RJ was like taking threes when he was open. Like Grimes will be open for a three, hesitate, wait for the guy to come to him, pump fake, drive into drive into like traffic. It's like, bro, like he even had like a travel off of it too. So it's like he's gotta just shoot. Like, how many times do we have to tweet for him to shoot? How many times does Julius have to tap him on the court And tell him to shoot.
So you gotta start beating that. He gotta start beating his ass. Like at some point, somebody gotta get some hands thrown on him. Cause like you supposed to be the damn shooter, and you wouldn't keep trying to blow by people. He read that damn Fred Katz article, and now he thinking he's some kind of dude. Like, no, bro, just take your shot.
Yeah. You're a shooter? Shoot. Just shoot, man. I
Tell
don't get
tell
it.
that's what we need Reggie Bullock back. Reggie Bullock will put them things up, even if they do miss. He will put them up.
Yo, LeBron is scoring like he scoring like how I be scoring in my career when I want to drop like 40 or something.
Son said, "I want the record tonight." Kareem's in the house. This is petty scoring, bro. I need it.
He's gonna break it one way or another tonight. Like he is gonna play in garbage time if he needs to.
It's
Like,
gonna be Kobe 60. That man is taking 50 shots to get 36. It don't matter.
yeah. Russ, don't even. Wow, he shot that and missed it. Of course.
Russell
Man,
Westbrook.
remember the days when folks was begging for Russ to be a Nick?
They still are. Some of them
Whoever
still. Some are still like,
whoever
yo,
is,
bro.
they need something beyond God. Like
When we was down bad, and they was like, oh, let's get Russell Westbrook in to help the rebounding and passing off the bench. And I'm like, dog, he's gonna fuck up everything else. Why would you do that? I
like
just,
is rebounding that, important to folks? Well, I
but he's
mean,
gonna be sixth man of the year, Sam. What do you mean? Like
um
that man has a 49 true shooting. It's over.
that's so
Wait,
bad.
wait, 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 wait. Does Deuce have a higher true shooting than Russell Westbrook? I gotta see.
Probably. But in the
Yo,
meantime,
and Deuce is shooting like garbage.
Virgil X says, "How close is Stibbs were winning you over? As close as he was to winning me over when he was 3-17 last year."
At this point, I'm just like, I'm glad you're not messing it up for anybody. Yeah, like he's not winning anybody over. He's just kind of like,
That's how close Stibbs is to winning me over. He is as close to his winning me over as he was around this time last year. So when we were smoking games, we was up by 25. When we was up by almost 30.
we were
That's how
talking,
close he is to winning me over.
we was chatting beer in the timeline, and then the third quarter would hit, and then we would be down seven, and you're just like, what the hell happened? He winning me over ever like until he could win a championship, and I'm still gonna be skeptical. I'm gonna treat him like the Astros GM. You win a championship and you still getting fired. Like I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's just really basic. This team has outlived basic. They are a team that, they can afford to be creative. They can, you know,
And also speaking, like yes, he will have lived up to expectations for the roster because I don't think anybody had high hopes for this roster. But at the same time, like you still kind of feel like you're leaving meat on the bone.
definitely, definitely. All right, before we head out of here, next game is versus the Sixers. We are honestly just hoping that we can replicate Sunday, or at least hoping the Sixers players replicate Sunday because they were not that good on Sunday. Outside of Joel Embiid, who even he wasn't good. He just put up a bunch of free throws to make his numbers look better. But I mean, Tobias Harris was all right, I guess. James Harden was not James Harden that we're used to seeing versus us, which could definitely change. But yeah, we just gotta, I'd say let Embiid cook and just worry about stopping the other guys.
Yep. If James Harden is gonna get foul grifted by Jalen Brunson, I think they have a chance. So
Jalen Brunson was hunting the hell out of him.
my man, he took the All Star snub personally. He said it gonna be me and not you. Honestly, the way coaches treating James Harden, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Brunson.
I hope. I
I
hope
hope
so.
so. I hope so. Like That's what I mean. Oh, Embiid starts. Like I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Like I don't think they give it to Siakam. Is my thing.
Maybe they could. They replace the front. They might replace the front court player for a front court player, and
The thing is, like I
Siakam
don't
would be
know.
the next guy.
The thing is, like I don't know who else is in the conversation. Like it's Siakam or it's somebody else. So I think it might be Brunson. I don't know. I
I hope
have a
so.
feeling. Like I think the national media kind of being like for Brunson. Like I don't know. It would surprise me. I mean, I think right now you're looking at like Zion's out, Curry's out, KD's out. So I think it might be like Fox. Um, Fox. It'll be maybe AD. Not probably not AD. Fox, Anthony Edwards, and like Brunson. That's what I'm thinking.
Could be. Um, Virgil X. He'll be our last comment of today because my brain is done. When will be the next game that the Knicks will have a blowout decisive victory? It feels like it's been a while.
The Jazz.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Jazz, but like, I don't know. What are our next couple games?
We play Sixers. We play the Jazz on a back to back. Then we play the Nets. Then we play the Hawks, and that's the All Star break.
Maybe the Hawks. Maybe I don't know. They're a weird team.
Hey, the Hawks in Atlanta. I'm not buying it.
Imagine we imagine we blow out the Nets. That would be hilarious.
So if we blow up the Nets, I swear we're running the chip. I'm treating that like my chip because we
That's my
deserve it at that point.
championship.
Hell yeah, we deserve it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna end here. My brain is fried. I tried. Didn't even mean to rhyme right there. Shout out to everyone that came and left a comment. We tried to get to as many as possible. Knicks win. Hopefully we keep the momentum going. On Friday, tomorrow, Jalen Brunson gets his jersey retired in Villanova. So shout out to him. True winner. Won 2 national championships there. So good for him. Um, yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one after Friday's game. Hopefully, the Knicks beat the Sixers once again. Um, yeah, make sure you guys check out everything Strict related in the description. We got links to the site, merch, Patreon, and Twitter, all great ways to support us. We are also on Instagram at thestrict.land. Um, yeah, everyone have a good Wednesday and Thursday. I'm gonna go get some sleep.